friends, Margarita here, getting ready to interview Andrew, a trial lawyer turned entrepreneur. I can't wait to have him share his story on Care Sandwich today. But first, check out this video.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Welcome back. Andrew, join me on the virtual stage. Let's get to know you. Andrew, so tell us, where are you coming from and where's your law firm? What's it called? What do you do? How do you do it really well? Tell us your story.
Well, thank you, Margarita. First of all, thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm honored. I'm coming from Melbourne, Florida, which is on the East Coast, about an hour east of Orlando, right near Cocoa Beach, Cape Canaveral area. And so I own Andrew Pickett Law, which I started about 8 years ago. I've been an attorney since 2009. And so I've had a number of different career paths before this, as far as being in other practice areas and at other locations, but been an entrepreneur for about 8 years now.
That's exciting. So what made you take the leap of faith to hang up your own shingle?
Well, it wasn't something that I originally thought that I wanted to do. I know a lot of people go to law school thinking that they want to start a business or be an entrepreneur, and that was really never in my mind. But because I moved back to practice law in the area where I grew up, and I invested a lot in the community, when I was with another law firm as an associate, I was realizing the impact that I could make to a business by bringing in business of my own. And so after getting a lot of good training and mentorship at my other law firm and also in my first job as a prosecutor, I decided that it was time to take the leap. It was around the time that I started my law firm that my dad was dying of cancer. And his last job before he retired was he was advising small businesses and startups and creating business plans. So there was part of my desire to start my own law firm that was to honor my father and to kind of live out his legacy and to create my own. So it was really kind of the perfect storm of events. I knew that I could bring in the business based on my prior experience, and doing it in the area where I grew up was just kind of the perfect set of ingredients that allowed me to do it back in 2018. So that was February 2018. And on February 12th, it'll be 8 years. So it's been quite a journey, and it's really been the best decision of my life.
That's beautiful. So you were called by the cause, and then you had all the perfect ingredients, your background and your family. That's wonderful. That's very touching. Are any other siblings or also entrepreneurs? Just out of curiosity, is it did it turn into like a family thing?
No. Well, my younger brother his name is George. He lives in San Francisco, and he has a bit of an entrepreneurial bug in him. He's always gotten new ideas that he's trying to explore. So I think he would be the only one that fits that. My mom did have her own consulting business as an architect, so I think that there is some sense in which that influenced me. But growing up, it was never a goal to be an entrepreneur. But now that I am, I'm just realizing just how fulfilling it is.
So walk us through how you've engineered a firm that takes care of the injured so well, and what sort of work have you done on yourself to get your firm where it is today?
Great question. One of the things that I didn't realize when I was starting my business was how being an entrepreneur is such a journey that reflects your own personal development. And so I'm getting a lot of insights into understanding myself in being a business owner. And a lot of the tendencies that I have in communication and conflict resolution that would apply to my marriage, for example, also spill over into my business. And I had no idea that was going to be the case at the beginning. And it certainly has become highlighted as we've grown. When I first started in 2018, I just had one employee, and now we have 15. And so managing different personalities, having difficult conversations, learning how to address things head on, being tactful but direct. Those are all things that have been important in my personal life, but also spilled into the business. So when I first started as a business owner, my focus was, how can I be the best trial attorney that I can be? And I have always benefited from coaching and mentorship, even dating back to high school and college. I was a college athlete. I was a collegiate swimmer at University of Virginia. And I always benefited from coaches who believed in me and who I could learn from and who pushed me. So I've always been into coaching and learning from other people. But my initial focus was learning how to be the best trial lawyer I could be. And then as the business expanded and I became aware of what I needed to learn to become a better business owner, I sought out mentorship in kind of the coaching realm on the business side. So I've still maintained my focus on refining my trial skills, but over the past 4 or 5 years, there's been an increased focus on learning how to run a business. So I've gone through a number of programs. I started out with a coaching program called Atticus. I then have been part of some masterminds. There was one that a friend of mine, Daryl Isaacs out of Kentucky, ran that was really good to get ideas from other people. And then right now I'm in a coaching program called Fireproof, which is based on the EOS, or Entrepreneurial Operating System, that's been really beneficial for me. So I think that anybody who starts out in business without having a significant background in running a business really can benefit from learning the ins and outs of how to run it. And for me, that journey has centered a lot on delegation, because when it was just me, I was doing everything. And so part of my journey over the last few years is kind of identifying all the different things that I do and then finding somebody who can do it better than me. And that's been really freeing and has allowed me to scale.
Wow, like I'm overwhelmed in a good way. That's a lot of really deep, impactful advice. And I find it so relatable. I feel like I'm getting a little coaching session here from you about, because I mean, wow, like right before this podcast, I was thinking about, how can I improve my communication skills? And then I was thinking about how that relates to like how I communicate with my kids. And I was like thinking about that very thing. So I'm like very impacted by what you just said, because I'm literally living it right now. And I love it. And I think that a lot of law firm owners, and I'll even add myself to the list, we think that being a successful business owner means being the best at your craft, right? Like I really admire some of the, attorneys that I've met that have become business owners. They're amazing attorneys. But then there's this other part where you're running the business and you're wanting to scale. And one question that I see attorneys that become business owners ask themselves is, why am I not getting more cases if I know I'm the best? Like I'm better, than most, but the other guys are getting the cases, right? And me as a marketer, it's like, oh, well, they market more, but I think, to be fair, the point that you brought up is the mindset piece, the investing in yourself, the really like learning, like that's also important too. Like it's not just marketing. I think that's the third leg in that tripod really is the operations piece. So I'm going to ask you, how would you advise me or any other entrepreneur that's at that point where they're like, okay, I know what it's like to study and become better at my craft. I don't know what it's like to study and become a better business owner. You gave a couple of nuggets like the masterminds and things like that. But the question that I'm asking you is more about the mindset piece. Like, how do you get yourself to focus on that, to prioritize that when your default is like being this machine of like the skill of your craft? Does that make sense? Like I'm selfishly asking a question for me, but I know that a lot of law firm owners like How do you like you got to do it, right? It's important. How do you get yourself there?
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
Yeah, that's such a good question, and something I've done a lot of thinking about. And so I think it begins with kind of understanding yourself. And I mean, I think for me, a lot of understanding myself has actually been through therapy that I've done, a lot of counseling and understanding my own tendencies. And I think as an entrepreneur, the thing that a lot of people have trouble getting comfortable with is taking risk and keeping at the forefront of your mind kind of a faith in the future, as opposed to like this sense of worry. And one of the mindset shifts that I've had over the past couple of years is this idea of hiring in anticipation of growth, as opposed to waiting until I'm bursting at the seams to kind of fill a gap. So I think that you have to have the confidence that the future is going to be better than the past. And once you have the work on the systems and understanding the data that's going to allow you to scale, you have to have this faith in yourself and the continued success of your business that allows you to take the risks in hiring. So I think that kind of foundationally, I would say, understand yourself and what your own limiting beliefs are and what your fears are around the unknown and the future, because those can really kind of sabotage your business. Understanding those fears, making sure that all of your systems are set up to allow you to scale and that you're making decisions that are based on data, then you can kind of trust in the process to be able to continue to scale. And I think, as with anything, having a coach or a mentor is really helpful. And for me, identifying people who are at the top of their game in the personal injury world, who have something that they can teach me, has been great for me, because you can model the success of other people. So that for me has been really important. And I think the work that I've done on my personal development has also really helped in my business. Right now I'm part of it's a daily 15-minute call with a mindset coach. His name is David Nagel. And every day I meet with about 75 other people all over the country. And we just kind of at 9 a.m. every day, we get our mindset right. And so there's some reading associated with that. And I think that there are some personal development books that are kind of foundational, but that's been really helpful for me. I've also been influenced really heavily by Tony Robbins. I went to a couple of his seminars, most impactful of which was the Date with Destiny seminar just last December. And that has really challenged me to understand my limiting beliefs and my mindset, and to be really intentional about kind of the values that I'm selecting in my own life. And there's such a parallel between being intentional about what you want in your personal life and also being intentional about what you want in your business, and recognizing that we as entrepreneurs are the creators of our lives, and that we don't have to be a victim of circumstance. We can design the life that we want, and kind of feeling that empowerment and understanding how, when we believe in ourselves and when we have a goal that we're moving towards and we have faith in the outcome, that it can really get there. So I think the combination of all those things is understanding yourself, getting your systems down, understanding your data, having mentors, working on your own personal development. Those are all things that I think allow you to have this entrepreneurial mindset that allows you to make decisions quickly and to make decisions without fear, and make your decisions based on your faith in yourself and your love for what you're doing.
I love that. So I actually learned about David Nagel through one of our clients. So I'm excited that you mentioned him. I'm actually thinking about going to the event in February. So super excited about that.
Well, I might see you there.
Yeah. And so just to kind of highlight, so you mentioned fireproof is one
Yes.
organization. You mentioned David Nagel. What other resources? You said Tony Robbins.
Yeah, so I've kind of evolved over the years and what I've
Mhm.
done, and I think that it's really interesting. Each thing that I've done has kind of led to something else.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
there's this quote that Steve Jobs has where he says, "You cannot connect the dots looking forward and kind of plan out everything that's going to happen in your life, but you can connect the dots looking back." So I look back
Mm.
to different things in my life and how each thing that I've done has led to something else. So, I had a digital marketing agency where I had a friend there who introduced me to Daryl Isaacs, who's a big attorney in Indiana and Kentucky, and I was part of his mastermind group. Through that
Mhm.
mastermind group, I met a girl named Jen Gore, who then became kind of a mentor and coach for me. Through her, I was introduced to Fireproof, and now Fireproof is probably the most significant coaching program that I'm doing. That was started by Mike Morse out of Michigan and his COO
Oh,
John
I'm
Knockhazel.
familiar with it. Several of our clients are in that organization as well. Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, it's really helped us to have a lot more accountability within our firm and to make decisions based on understanding our data and scaling and planning for the future. And I think the delegating piece that I referenced earlier was influenced largely by my involvement in Fireproof. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now. And I've kind of, you know, graduated to different programs, and depending on where I am in my growth, might find another mentor along the way. But it's nothing that I could have planned out at the beginning. It's just, I think
Yeah.
one of the very important skills that I would say for being an entrepreneur is just kind of having your antenna open for opportunities and
Mm.
noticing opportunities when they come up and taking them. Because if you don't take an opportunity, then you're not going to know where that door might have led. And sometimes it doesn't lead to where you're thinking, but I think as long as you have your mind tuned to looking for opportunities, it can lead to kind of the next step in your growth.
I love that, and I can relate to how you described the context of like, yes, there's these resources, but there really is no like cookie cutter blueprint of resources and how to consume and how to like. I have a lot of people ask me about like mindset and coaching because that's really been a big game changer for me, and um, I always give the answer of, well, this is who I went to and this is what I did, but but like you have to get in touch with what might be right for you. You might start with this coach instead of this coach, or this modality instead of this one. So I can relate because I've done conscious parenting coaching and NLP. Like I've done a lot of that, and it's been a big game changer for me. So I can relate to what you that context that you gave, where I think the biggest takeaway for me from what you just said is to keep your antenna open for the next opportunity for you. That's how I interpreted it, right?
Yep.
What feels right to you? What's your greatest opportunity right now? And that really ties into my philosophy of, how we do marketing at Marketing Boss, where we advise law firm owners on marketing, and we always get asked, well, what's the playbook, right? Or what did your client so and so do? And I'm like, no. Like so and so's journey is on so and so's journey, right? Let's look at
Absolutely.
what you have to work with. What are your competitive advantages? Like, what can you build on and go from there? Because if we did the cookie cutter thing, we might be missing an amazing opportunity, right? Because what worked for
Yeah.
one doesn't necessarily work for the other. So I feel like I definitely resonate with that. So, Andrew, what would you say to a law firm owner that's listening to this and is thinking, oh my gosh, I am in Andrew's backyard and I would love to refer him some cases because I don't do what he does. How can people get a hold of you to refer you cases, other attorneys, or maybe even somebody who has a loved one that's been injured and wants to connect them with your firm?
Well, first of all, I am honored by anybody who trusts me with a referral, and I really take those referrals seriously, and I want to do the best job I can for anybody who refers me a case. So I can be contacted through my email address, andrew@andrewpickettlaw.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram at Andrew Pickett Law. My website is andrewpickettlaw.com. So any of those ways, LinkedIn, Andrew Burton Pickett. We have a YouTube channel, Andrew Pickett Law. So any of those.
And do a recap real quick. What are the ideal case types? Because I know with personal injury, there's just a lot. So what are your main types that you focus on?
So the ideal case type would be serious injury cases arising from motor vehicle crashes. That's kind of our bread and butter, is motor vehicle accidents. Some people kind of hesitate to refer cases because they think they might not be big enough, but we'll take a look at anything. And we have a really robust intake department. And if we can't help you, we'll certainly point you in the right direction. But we try to serve as many people as we can, not only in our county, but all throughout the state of Florida. So always happy to take a look at a case and co-counsel and have the referring attorney be as involved or as not involved as they want to be.
I love it. And so there you have it, folks. Refer your cases to Andrew and his team. They'll take good care of your patients, your clients. I think it's so important for attorneys to have a nice referral network, because I've observed this as well with the marketing. You're always going to get cases that are outside of your practice area. If you're good at one area, people are going to want your help with others. Have a network of attorneys that you can refer out to, because those people deserve the best. And if you have people that wow, they're going to take good care of my clients, definitely refer them out. So, Andrew, I have one more question for you, and I've already gone way over in time because it's been such a fun interview. What is your favorite sandwich? Because this is after all the Care Sandwich podcast.
I was going to say, besides the care sandwich, I don't eat a lot of sandwiches. I don't eat a lot of sandwiches, but I do really like avocado toast. So that's kind of like a half of the sandwich. My wife, Keely, who's also an attorney, will make me and my stepson, Reef, a avocado toast with like sprouts on top and olive oil and like Himalayan sea salt. It's really good. So that's going to be my answer for my favorite kind of half sandwich.
That sounds yummy, actually. If I didn't have lunch plans, I might make some of that. I have lots of avocados, but that's great. So, Andrew, it's been such a pleasure interviewing you. I can't wait to check in with you backstage here in a little bit. But for those of you that have tuned in, I hope you got as much as I did, if not more, from this amazing interview. And we'll catch you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.